What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I'm already getting looks. A bit of a different video. I'm not gonna. It's as you can tell by the title and probably the thumbnail. I'm not sure if the thumbnail actually, but point is, life can be messy sometimes, and I'm gonna kind of talk about that. I'm not gonna go too much into what's happening in my life. I'll just say the past like 2-ish months has been very, 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 very messy. My keys are stuck in my okay. But I'm gonna be kind of talking about how I'm dealing with, how I'm getting over it, and just how I think God's using this to help me get closer to Him, if you will. So, your Red Bull mounted, the Red Bull mounted very securely. Let's get this guy. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. Alright. So first of all, and I'm not going to talk too much about what's going on in my life, because I'm sure most of you guys probably don't want to hear that, but like I said, without touching too much on it, my family's dealing with some issues right now, and yeah, life is not bad by any means right now. I got life right now as I'm speaking. I'm on a $300 bike, recording with my $300 phone, with a Red Bull on my bike. Like, life is not bad by any means right now. By any means, life is not bad. But it has been a bit of a challenge lately. And not a challenge in the fact that, like, oh, I hate my life, I want to unalive myself, blah, blah, blah. It's more so been challenging, like, man, this sucks right now, you know? It's not like I want to unalive myself suck, but, like, man, this kind of sucks. It's been a thing. I don't want to talk too much about it. Like I said, the big thing that I'm gonna touch on is, it's mainly with my dad. Again, even though I'm very annoyed at him still, I'm not gonna touch too much on what he's done, what he's doing, because I don't want to just do him like that. I still love him, he's still my dad. But at the end of the day, he's just not been like biblically like God-fearing dad. Hang on, let me get past this dog. Hi, dog. How you doing, dog? Bye, dog. So, yeah, that's the big thing I've noticed. For those of you who don't know, we're 14. I'm turning 15 in January, so in a few months. And, yeah, I'm starting to get to the point in my life where I can realize how has been very wrong. I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to realize how he's treated my mom is very wrong. Again, I'm not going to touch too much on all of what he's doing, because like I said, I still love him, I still care about him, I'm not trying to make him look bad. But what I will say is that he has not been a very God-fearing husband or dad. And a lot of it I can't blame on him, because when he was growing up, he never really had a good example of what that would look like. But for those of you who don't know, I'm assuming you would know because I'm talking about it. But we go to my church, and they teach that stuff. Sure, it's for younger men, but you can still look at that squirrel. You can still look at that and apply it to your life. Just because it's aimed squirrel to bye squirrel. Just because it's aimed to people who probably are like in their late teens to early 20s doesn't mean you can't apply that. And so, even though he didn't grow up with a great example, he's still, it's not impossible for him to learn. So, and I've been picking that up. And so that's a part of the reason why I'm a bit annoyed. But, what am I going to do about it, But so, that's been a thing. And don't get me wrong, it has sucked. It has sucked a lot, in fact. But I gotta look at it this way. For those of you who don't know, I feel like I was called into, I'm 99% sure I'm gonna end up going into ministry. I was called into ministry about 2 months ago now. That is a jug of pee. Okay. But yeah, so I totally lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I don't know. I can see what it should look like to be a God-fearing man. I have good examples of that, and he's just not that. And like I was saying, I'm turning 15 in a few months, so the idea of dating is starting to come to my mind. I'm not too worried about it, because, like I said, I'm turning 15 in a few months. I'm still 14 right now. Dating is not my top priority, by any means. By any means. But it is starting to creep into my mind, I might start dating in a year or two, it's not my top priority, but it's something I'm starting to think about. And just looking at the way he's been, and how he's treated my mom and all of that, I look at that, see it's wrong, and then I have friends who actually act the way they should. And difference is night and day. It's a night and day difference. Night and day difference. Again, I'm not saying this to make him look bad or whatever. But, yeah. And the other thing with me dating, just talking to girls even. I had one girlfriend last year. I'm so grateful that was a very cringe relationship. But one thing I've learned from that is your boy does not have an easy time finding a girl that likes him. I'll just say that much. I'm not, I wouldn't say I look bad by any means, but let's just say your boy gets a few rejections. And by a few, I mean a lot. A lot. Which is fine. At the end of the day, like I said, I'm 14. The chances of me finding my wife right now, very, very low. But, yeah. My point being, life is kind of messy sometimes. Kind of really messy. Really, really messy. All this with my dad, and all of this. It sucks. I'm not even gonna lie, it sucks. But I gotta look at this from a good manner. Like I was saying earlier, I was called into ministry about 2 months ago. And like I said, I'm 99.9% sure that that's where I'm going with my life. And see, the way I'm looking at this, I really think I've been thinking the past couple weeks. I feel like youth ministry would be something I would like to do. And I'm just thinking about it like this. Let's say 20 years from now, I'm a youth pastor, and and a kid comes up to me. Hey, Christopher, my parents are going through a really messy divorce. My dad's not being a good dad. What should I do? Well, I can look at that and think back to my personal experience when I went through this, when I'm going through this right now, and be all like, hey, I get it. I went through the same thing. Here's what you do about it. Not because I'm like almighty and wise and all that. Hang on. Hi, dog. But because I've gone through that, so I know what it's like. I understand what that kid would be going through. And then I can use that, like, hey kid. Okay. So my phone kind of stopped recording. I think I gotta delete some stuff. But I'll be back. Yeah. I need more storage bad. Okay, I'm back. I don't know where I stopped recording. I'll have to go through and see. Honestly, it's when I turned into this neighborhood. But we'll just kind of pick up where I left off in that neighborhood, which is, what was I saying? What was I saying? I was talking about how. Oh yeah. So I'm at my summer camp, and I'm there. It's a Wednesday night. I'm listening to the message our guest speaker Evan was giving. A great message, by the way. He was really good at what he did. I really liked that first night when he was there. The first thing he started off by saying, I'm gonna preach. I'm not sure if it was these exact words, but I'm gonna preach what God told me to preach. And if you don't like it, just don't come back to these chapels. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to tell you what God told me to tell you. Because I love you. I love you all. And because I love you, I'm going to tell you this. It might hurt, but you need to hear this. But so what he's saying on that Wednesday night, he's talking to us. And that's the night that they had everyone, and they're going to try and get some people to give their life to Jesus. And see, I got baptized when I was 7. And I'm going to say this, I don't plan on getting rebaptized. I was baptized, and now I just fully understand what it means. So yeah. But so, I'm there. I'm going to ride by my house just so my mom knows I'm not dead. But so, I'm there, and he's saying, Jesus Christ. So, Jesus Christ cannot just be your Savior, but He must also be your Lord. And see, before that, going into that night, I thought like, oh, how cool, I'm excited to see people give their life to Jesus. Oh God. was not paying attention. Sorry. Oh, I was not paying attention right there, guys. But so that night for the chapel, I'm there, and we're eating dinner together, because I really liked him. I do really like him. He was amazing at what he does. I hope I get to see him again. But yeah, I liked him. He was nice. But so, going into that, I thought, like, oh, I'm so excited to see all these people give their life to Christ for the first time. I didn't think I was going to stand up at all. Going in there, I did not think at all, oh, I'm going to stand up and give my life. Because I thought I already did. I thought, okay, boom, check. I did the thing, I'm saved. Then he starts preaching. And I'll never forget this. As he's preaching, he says something like, maybe you're something like this. You go to church every Sunday. I do that. You got baptized when you were 7. Bingo. You'll worship on Sundays. Check. You'll pray on Sundays. You'll read your Bible on Sundays. Check. But then Monday comes around, and what do? You start listening to your music with all the profanity. You don't pray. You don't open your Bible. You don't touch your Bible, let alone open it. You just give God Sundays, and that's it. You don't give him Wednesdays. You don't give him any other day of the week. He just gets Sunday. And I'm sitting in the back. Me and my friends are sitting there in the back. And I remember, and I didn't make like a big show of it, but I remember I'm sitting there, and I just started to cry. It wasn't like an ugly cry. It wasn't like noticeable. I don't even think my friends noticed me crying. And in that moment, I didn't feel called out, I didn't feel attacked. But at the same time, I knew deep down, that's me. Like, he wasn't talking like, Christopher, why do you only give Jesus Sundays? That's not at all what he was saying. But I remember, I was in there, and in that moment, I realized, am I really saved? Or did I just believe in Jesus? Because there's a... Hang on. Guys, don't fix the window. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Am I saved? Or do I just say I believe in Jesus? Because that's two different things. There's a ton of evidence, a whole ton of evidence, from people who try to disprove God, disprove the Bible. There's tons of evidence that they found, proving that it's real. It's not just some myth, it's not just some legend. This is real. And so that's what he was saying. You can believe he exists, but if you're not actually giving your life to him, then it's nothing. So, I remember I'm sitting there, and at this point, I kind of stopped crying. I'm still sniffling a bit. And I remember that's when he said that. You cannot just give Jesus Sundays. Jesus Christ cannot just be your Savior, but he must also be your Lord. I remember that. Very vivid. Like, I distinctively remember that. And so, I'm there, and I'm listening, and then he ends his message, and he's just saying, if you felt like you were saved for the first time, you need to stand up. Because if you cannot stand up and here, where people will not judge you for accepting Jesus, if you cannot stand up and here, where people will celebrate you accepting Jesus, you're not going to be able to stand up for him outside of this room, outside, off the mountain. You are not going to be able to stand up for him and be proud, like, yeah, I'm a Jesus believer. I believe in Jesus. I believe he died for my sins and rose on the third day to save me from them. I believe that he's the one who was and is to come. If you cannot stand up in here and say that you were saved by Jesus tonight, then you cannot stand up for him anywhere else. And in my head, I'm all, okay, so I'm really being called out. First, he talks exactly what I've been living my life as, just giving Jesus Sundays. And then I'm all, okay, I'm saved. I think I'll just stay sitting and deep down in my heart know that I'm saved. And then he literally says, if you do not stand up for me now, for Jesus now, then you're not going to stand up for him off this mountain. I was all, oh, great. I guess he can just read my mind or something, I don't know. But so, the song starts, and I remember, oh my gosh, I remember just standing there and thinking to myself, like, so I'm sitting there when they started the song, and then he told everyone, okay, close your eyes. So he did, everyone close their eyes, they like laid their head on their legs so they couldn't see anything. And I remember distinctively Evan saying, okay, now if you feel like Jesus Christ has came into your heart for the first time tonight, raise your hand. And I'm all, okay, this isn't so bad. I just raise my hand with everyone looking down. You're like, even if you accepted Jesus, you're still looking down. So I'm all like, oh, this ain't bad at all. And then he says, stand up, keep your eyes for the people who just accepted Christ. So stand up and open your eyes. I see almost the entire room. There's probably about 80 people that were at my camp. At least like 50 or 60 of them were standing. So I'm all like, okay, I'm trying to assess the situation. Because I see some of my friends who I've always assumed, who I've seen get baptized, stand up, saying that they accepted Jesus for the first time. I'm all like, oh, what? And so I'm really just puzzled. I'm standing there. And I remember I'm at that point I remember then Evan says, okay, now everybody who is not standing right now I don't remember if it was stand up or look up and open your eyes and look at all your new family members in Christ, something like that. Again, I don't remember the exact things he said. And so, I remember I stood up and I assumed, like, I'm like, at this point, I'm just like, oh, wow. Again, I get where he's coming from, and I'm very grateful he was there, because he really did save me. But, so I remember I'm standing there, and then my best friend, Tristan, he's been in a few of the videos. He's one of my closest friends. Right in that moment he was, right now he is. And so I remember in my head, I remember him standing up and looking at me. I remember him standing up, looking at me. Then he walked up to me. We're sitting. I can't remember how far away from each other we were sitting, but we're sitting pretty darn close to each other. And I remember him walking up to me and giving me a hug, saying, "I'm so proud of you, Chris. I'm so happy." Hang up. One day I might own one of those. One day. Okay. So as I'm saying, I remember him standing up with me, and then, so he stands up, walks over to me, gives me a hug, tells me, "I'm so proud of you, Chris, and I'm so happy for you." It was something like that. Again, I don't remember exactly. This was 3 months ago now. But so, let me think. I don't even remember it fully. I do not remember it fully. At all. What happened? So, then, everyone stands up, the song starts playing. But right before Evan stepped off the stage, he told everyone, "If you have been saved tonight, step out to the side." And so I step out to the side. And then I find one of my youth leaders, Roy. We step outside. He prays for me. I wouldn't say was surprised, but I think he was a little. Because again, on Sundays, I look like the perfect Christian guy. But Monday through Saturday, I'm the opposite of that. And so, again, I wouldn't say he was surprised, but I wouldn't say he wasn't surprised. But so we pray. And I remember we walk out of chapel that night, and in my heart, I'm just like so grateful, because if I had died the night before, if I had died before even hearing that message, I don't think I would have gone to heaven. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be fully honest. Let's say something were to happen to me before walking into that chapel. Let's say someone were to hit me and I was to die in a hospital room that night. Let's say the night before I was hanging out with one of my friends and something happened to me and I died. I don't think I would have gone to heaven. I'm gonna be fully honest. I really don't think I would have. But so I remember walking out of there that night, and I have so much joy. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what to do now. So, of course, me and my big brain decides, you know what, let's go walk to the snack shack and get on their Wi-Fi and text all of my friends, hey, I'm saved. For the first time, I'm saved. And that was the first idea that came to my mind. Because deep down, I was so happy. And so grateful. Oh, that sounds cartoon. I think looks good. And so I remember I text all my friends that, and then we go to small group. And I kid you not, almost every single person in my small group accepted Christ for the first time that night. And so I'm all, in my mind, I'm all, oh wow, this many people accepted Christ for the first time. And that's all my small group was talking about. Like, you could feel the Lord in the room. You could feel His presence. I don't know how else to explain it. It was just like you could feel He was like it felt like God was just sitting there next to you. I remember that much. That's how it felt. Like God was right there next to me the whole time. And so in my mind, I'm all like, I'm still like not able to believe how many people came to Christ. But, oh no, I heard something come from my bike. Oh no, let's go walk it back and see. But I remember, I'm right there, and in my head I'm all, look how God worked to save probably close to 60 people that night. And I'm still, 3 months later, like it makes me tear up thinking about it. Like I can visibly, I can still like remember every detail leading up to that. When I say every detail, I don't mean every detail, but like I remember like eating dinner with Evan that day, and I'm like, and he asked me specifically, he asked me, why do you think in the Bible it says we should be like kids in our faith? And I answered him, I wouldn't say perfectly, but I answered him like pretty good, I'd say. It's because of that fact that like I've been in church every Sunday. I only missed one Sunday last year. That's because I was out of town. And so I remember that. And in my head I'm all like, wow, God's amazing. That night. Because, like I said, I walked into that not knowing what at all. Like I did not know at all I was going to be giving my life that night. Because I thought I already did. And so yeah, I remember it very well too. And in my mind I'm still thinking like, is this real? And at that time, and I'm still working on it, but I was struggling with lust. Not so much porn, but lust. Sounds weird to say it like that, but like, just lust, like not so much porn-wise, but lust. And this is gonna be on the internet forever. So, but yeah, I need to say, I had been at that time, and I still am. I'm getting better. I'm still struggling with lust. It's not every night anymore. I'm doing a lot better against it, but I still will have those thoughts. And for the most part, I can catch myself now. But so I remember hearing that, and I'm just sitting there, like stunned. Like I said, I didn't get like he didn't like say me specifically, but I remember I'm sitting there afterwards. I'm laying in my bed that night. I'm in the shower that night, and I'm all like, how great is our God? Like, to save a wretch like me from my sins. Because I'm not going to say I'm the least deserving of it. Because there are a lot of people a lot worse than me. But I remember I say, like I think this all the time, like, I'm not deserving of this at all. Especially, like, at that time, I'm like, man, I struggle so much with lust. I paint myself as a good Christian guy, but Monday come, and I'm right back to living like the world. If God were to come back right before that message, I would not have been taken. If I were to get hit by a car walking to chapel and die, I would not have been taken to heaven. I genuinely believe that. And still, it's crazy to me. Like, I walked into that week. I'm gonna be honest. I walked into that week looking for a girlfriend. I'm not gonna lie, guys. And the last thing I expected was that. When I left on that Monday, getting on in that van with my homies, I was all like that was not what I expected to happen. But God worked. He worked a wonder. Saved me. Even though I don't deserve it. By any means. By any means. I'm probably one of the least deserving people of it. He saved me. He didn't tell me, get right first. Fix your lust issue. And then I'll save you. He says, come to me as you are. And he'll do the fixing. But we need to let him. And I'm looking at this with the issues I'm dealing with right now in my life. I'd say I'm almost out of the woods with my lust issue. I'd say, like, life it has not been bad by any means. But thinking back on it now, I don't know if Evan didn't come that night, I don't know if I'd be making it. I don't know if I would have made it this far. I don't know, honestly. Like, I really don't know. Like, I remember I was just trying to hold on until my brother's birthday that week. Like, that was my goal. Just hang on till then. And then figure out what I was going to do from there. I genuinely think if Evan didn't come that week, I genuinely think I probably would have unalived myself by now. It's really dark to say, it sounds really bad, but I genuinely believe it. But yet, God knew that. He saw how much my heart was hurting. He saw how much my soul was hurting. And he worked. He took what the enemy meant for evil, and he turned it for good. That's a line in the song. But I distinctively remember that. Like, that's exactly what was playing in my head when that happened. And I'm still... And so that's when I realized, like, hey, I think I need to go into ministry. Because, like, I'm thinking, even now, this is why I still think it. Because I'm sitting there, and I don't know if I would have made it out of that month. I don't know if I would have made it out of this year if he didn't come. And I still think about it at night. I wasn't going to make it out this year. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And God took that. He sent Evan. He shared the gospel. And single-handedly, God used that to save me. And now that's why I want to go into ministry. Because I see that. And I'm all like, man, I want to become a pastor one day. And God can use me to go share the word with someone. Or even if I don't become a pastor, God can use me to share the word with someone and help someone who was in the same place I am, where I was. Like, thinking about unaliving themselves, thinking about, like, making irreversible decisions. And, so that's why I don't know. It's hard to talk about. It really is. I've never really talked about it. But, yeah. I'm still not perfect. By any means. By any means, guys. Just because I'm going into ministry. Just because I do X, Y, and Z. That I'm not perfect. I do my best to give God my 100%. But I struggle with it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. There'll be days where I'll slip and I'll lust. There will be days where there's a lot of days when I don't read my Bible. There's a lot of days when I don't pray. But knowing that I can come back and God loves me and He forgives me for that. That's all the encouragement I need. Even if I'm a dumb 14-year-old right now. That's all the encouragement I need, guys. I'm still very grateful looking back on it. I'm very, very grateful still. Like, I can still distinctively remember that night. I can remember going in that night, and thinking, oh man, I'm so excited to see people come give their life to Christ for the first time. Man, I'm so excited to, I did not anticipate I was going to be giving my life to Christ, because I thought I was saved. I fully thought I was saved. But God worked. I was saved that night. He used that to call me into ministry. So now one day, hopefully, the Lord can use me and help someone else in that situation. But I always think about that. If I didn't go, I don't think I'd be here. That 1 week saved my life. Hands down. That's 100% saved my life. But now I gotta live it. And I'm not gonna say it's hard, but it's not easy. I think it's in Lemonade by Forrest Frank. If life is always easy, I'm doing something wrong. Because as believers, we are not guaranteed an easy life. We are not. We're guaranteed the opposite. But if we're with God, we'll get through it just fine. And with all this stuff going on with my parents, my dad has literally said multiple times, at least 10 times at this point, I want a divorce. You don't love me anymore. You're here for my money, which he doesn't even have a job. But I can look at it, and God is like my grandparents have helped me a lot. Like, to talk about this with my youth pastors, my youth leaders, they've helped me a lot. Friends of my family have helped a lot. And so that's where I'm at the point now where I'm like, do what you want to me, devil. Do what you want to me. I'm going to stay rooted in God, though, and I'll make it through. Even when I'm not having a good day. Even when last night I had a nightmare about my dad. It sounds dumb, but I had a nightmare about my dad. I'll get nightmares like that like once a week about my dad. I can barely even hold this phone sometimes because I'll think back to when my dad went and took me to get it and how he said, oh, I got this $300 phone for you with my hard-earned money, which again, he hasn't made in over a year, because I love you, blah, blah, blah. Now I can barely even look at this phone straight without thinking about that. But I know God's doing this for a reason. And that's all the encouragement I need. I'm not going to say I'm the perfect Christian. By any means, I'm not. I'm not at all a perfect Christian. I'm probably the exact opposite of it still. But I'm getting better. I don't curse as much anymore. I don't listen to that explicit music anymore. I worship God on a daily pretty much now. Even if I don't pray every day, even if I don't read the Bible every day, I'm getting better. And that's the best thing to see. I can see when I do really good on days, I feel God, like He's right there next to me the whole day. On Thursday, I went to Wendy's, and I stopped, I pray for my food. I remember when I stopped praying, somebody came up to me and asked me about God. And that was the most encouraging thing. Because who knows, maybe me praying for my Wendy's that I paid like $7 for saved somebody. Stopped someone from unaliving themselves. And that's all the encouragement I need. That's all the encouragement I need. So, now I can look at this with my parents. I can look at my drought of girls with happily. Not because I'm perfect, but because God is working through it, and I'll make it through it with God. Even if it's not going to be easy, I'm going to make it through it. And that's all the encouragement I need. So, with that being said, if you watch this about an hour-long video, I'm not cutting any of this out, because I genuinely think someone needs to hear it. Well, if you watch this hour-long video, thank you for watching. I'd appreciate if you gave it a like. Help someone else who needs to hear it find this. What I'm gonna say, if you need to talk to me, leave a comment. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment. I'm gonna leave. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. If you need to talk to me, though, leave a comment. If you want, you could also link my Instagram. If you want to DM me, ask about it, feel free. But okay, that's not gonna work. But know this much: if you're still here, you're here for a reason. I'm hoping this helps someone. But yeah, without further ado, if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.